mean, when I left Canada, my little one-bedroom apartment that I was renting was almost $1,200 a month. My electricity bill was $200 to $300 a month. So I mean, I was over $1,500 a month just in rent. I paid $375 here. This is the life right here. People were so beautiful. I had to figure out, I still needed to earn a living. This is what I want to do, and this is how much time I'm giving myself. So I had a little bit more than a year to get that figured out. And I pulled it off. Like I totally did it. You have the power in you to change it. So when I work for myself.
So this is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today we're lucky to have Eva on the interview. Eva, welcome to Vagabond Awake.
Thanks. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Well, we're excited to have you here also because you're somewhere we really love. So what's your home country and where are you sitting at this very moment?
My home country is Canada, and I am sitting in my computer chair in my home in 𝗂𝐻𝐻𝐿, Guatemala.
And that is on Lake
Atitlan.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite places in the world. And so how long have you been living there?
I've been here. So I left Canada 10 years ago, and I was in Mexico for 1 year. I was actually in Mexico during the year of COVID. I was trapped in Mexico because the borders were closed. But I've been here for 9 years, out of Canada for 10 years.
Mexico and Canada for 10 years. Is this your first time living overseas?
First time, yeah.
And how did you pick Lake Atitlan?
I love telling this story because people always go, "You did what?" So when I was ready to leave Canada, I didn't know where I wanted to go because I hadn't really narrowed down a country. I knew that it was going to be Central America somewhere, and I'm not really good at geography. So I actually called the tea leaf reader, who's kind of like a psychic. I called the tea leaf reader, I swear to God. And I said, hey, and it was September. And I knew, so here's something funny. It was September of 2015. And I knew that I had to leave before winter in Canada. And our winter starts around like November 1st from where I'm from. So I had 2 months to like hurry up, pick a place and go. And I had no idea where I wanted to go. So I called the tea leaf reader. I said, hey, it's Eva, this is my dilemma. I want to leave Canada. I want to go to Central America. I just don't know what country to choose. So I literally got her to pick the country. She told me to pick the country with the funkiest name. So I pulled up a map of Central America and I was looking at the countries and I was like, you mean like Guatemala? And she's like, that's exactly where you need to go. And I'm like, all right. So we ended the call and I went over to internationalliving.com actually. And I went through there to see if I could find any good articles on Guatemala. Like, I don't know, like, where am I going? Like, where I had no clue, Dan. I had absolutely no clue. And it was one or two of the articles from International Living that actually directed me to the Lake Atitlan area. And I'm like, okay, I can handle this. This is better. So as I did more research, I found 𝗂𝐻𝐻𝐿, and here we are 10 years later. So yeah.
You're in the village that the road comes from if you drive north up to the lake. From Antigua or Guatemala City. And then there's a bunch of other places around the lake, villages, and I'll ask you about that in a minute. But first I want to ask, what made you think, hey, I'm going to live somewhere else in the world? What was that about?
So this is kind of funny. So, like, because my hometown is in Northern Ontario, Canada. So winters are quite brutal. It's a smallish town. At that time, 165,000 people, a northern mining town, really, really brutal winters. And I had just had enough. And I was a hairstylist. So a lot of my clients used to go away for the winter. They would leave in November and they would come back in April. And I had a couple of clients, they'd come back in April. They'd tell me about their winter. And I'd be like, man, what do I got to do that? Like, I want that life. I want to be gone all winter because winter is really brutal in Northern Ontario. So I started thinking, okay, how can I make this work? Like, what do I have to do? Like, seriously, what do I have to do to make this work? Like, why can't I do that? So I went on a volunteer mission trip to Costa Rica, and that was in 2014, I think. And I was there for 3 weeks, and I thought, Oh, this is the life right here. It was so easy, and the people were so beautiful, and it was just so stress-free. You know, you go to the market, you get fresh fruits, and I mean, everything was just, I'm like this, like I want more of this in my life. So I had to figure out what did I have to do to still, because I still needed to earn a living. So what did I have to do, and can I make it happen? So I actually wrote down on a whiteboard. I mind mapped. Okay, this is what I want to do, and this is how much time I'm giving myself to do it. And I started my mind map in 2014, and I had on my mind map I wanted to resign from hairstyling in July of 2015 and be out of the country by the fall before winter hit in October of 2015. So I had a little bit more than a year to get that figured out, and I pulled it off. Like I totally did it. So by October of 2015, I was booking my one-way ticket, and that's how that happened. Yeah.
So you're too young to retire. So did you work out some online income or something? How did you do it?
So I started looking at, and this was like 10, yeah, 10, no, this was 11, almost 12 years ago. And working online wasn't a really big thing back then. And nobody, I mean, where I lived in Northern Ontario, nobody really knew anything about that. So I had to do some research, like how can I work online? What kind of things can I do online? Like, because I still had to make a living, right? So I stumbled upon a couple of freelance bloggers, and they had, you know, sign up here for this free 5 day. I signed up for every free 5 day thing I could just to learn how to become a freelance writer because I didn't know anything about that. Like I don't, because I didn't graduate high school. I had no writing experience. I was a hairdresser for over 25 years. So I didn't know anything about it. So I thought, okay, so what do I got to do? Where do I start? And like, just show me the way, just show me how to do this because I was determined. So what I did was I started writing all like motivational, personal development, inspirational, because I've always been that kind of girl, you know, blow sunshine up your butt. So I thought I could write about stuff like that, right? So what I would do is I would find all the high authority sites that were accepting like guest articles. So I would just write articles and I would submit them and I would write articles and I would submit them. And everybody, I got like this binder full of no, 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 no. And I just kept at it. So I was working hairdressing 8 to 9 hours a day. So I would write in the morning and I would write when I got home from work in the evening. I was writing when I wasn't haircutting. And I thought, you know, I got to do this. Like I'm going to crack into this. And I did it was 6 months before somebody finally accepted one of my, and this was just that was a free article. I was only writing for free to start with because I still didn't know what the hell I was doing, Dan. So I wrote for free for 6 months until somebody finally said, yes, okay, we'll accept a couple of your articles. And then it was probably another like I don't remember the exact time frame. I'm going to say 3 to 6 months, and I was writing because he had asked me, could you, you know, we really like your articles. Could you write, you know, are you open to submitting more? I said, sure, I can. And it was probably about at the 5 or 6 month mark, I said, hey, do you have a job for me? I thought, you know what? I'm going to start asking for money for my articles. Like it's time because I feel now it's time. So I said, hey, do you have a job for me? Like I can do. So he hired me part-time. It wasn't enough to quit my hairdressing job, but he hired me part-time. So I was able to go down in my hairdressing career. I was able to go down to part-time hours and write part-time. And then it was a little bit after that, I said, do you have a full-time job for me? And it was ghostwriting. It was ghostwriting for him, for his site. So do you have a full-time job for me? And I probably had to ask him about 2 or 3 times for a full-time until he finally said and he was in the UK and he set up a meeting. He said, let's have a meeting. And he finally said, okay. He said, you can hang up your cutting shears. I want you to work full-time for me. And I was like, hallelujah, hard work pays off.
If you're enjoying this content, please subscribe. And at the end of this video, I'll provide you with a video that shows you how I make money traveling all over the world.
Hallelujah, hard work pays off. So that was in July of 2015. And then it was July, August, September. So for the next month and a half, I was, clearing out, donating all my stuff, getting rid of all my stuff. I was downsizing. I left my apartment. I was renting a room in a house of a nice Christian lady. I didn't have to pay her. She didn't want any money. So I had this room. I literally got rid of 95% of my belongings because I was buying a one-way ticket. I was leaving and I didn't know when I was coming back. Like I knew I was going. I knew I was going to Guatemala. I didn't know how long I was going to be there for. The plan was just for the winter. And then when I came back in April or May, like all the other snowbirds do, I would find another little temporary place to live.
Yeah.
And then in October, I would jet off again to another faraway land. That was my plan. My plan was every 6 months, go to some foreign country, and my life is set, and Bob's your uncle. That was the plan. And then I landed in Guatemala and I just never left. I'm like, hey, I really like this place. This is cool. So I just stayed.
People are always curious, like, what does it cost? What's your cost of living there? Like rent, utilities, groceries?
So I wrote all that down for you.
Okay.
And I'm just going to tell you what they are in US prices, not the currency, our currency or
Perfect.
Canadian, just US, because I
Yeah,
imagine.
that's great.
Yeah. So my rent is $375 US, and I have a 2-story loft style house with 2 bathrooms, sorry. It's a loft, 2 bathrooms, 2 stories loft style. I have a brand new fridge and stove. It is a brand new house. The landlord just finished building it just before I moved in. He's a Guatemalan. I have a private secure yard. We have a brand new washing machine that he just bought us. The gentleman in the front, he has a small house there. Me and him share the washing machine. So yeah, so I pay $375 a month for this place, and it literally is a steal, especially now because this place is becoming more popular. A lot of the rents are really increasing, rapidly. So I really lucked out in finding this place, and it's off the beaten path. It's relatively quiet here. So rent is $375. The lights I pay for just the lights, they are $39 a month. And that's literally just the lights that, whatever hydro, that's a Canadian term, whatever electricity I use.
Yeah.
My food is I had a hard time really pricing out my food because I'm at the market almost every day because I like my vegetables and fruits fresh. So I'm always there every day. I also eat a lot of a lot of the stuff that they will find at like the gringo stores. So it's a little bit pricier, like almond flour, some of the more higher priced items. So I want to say, and this could be really wrong, I want to say around $250, $300 a month, give or take. It could be way more, it could be way less. I had a hard time pricing that. Sorry. So that was hard. So for my internet, which is phone and my home internet, my phone internet, well, I put them all together and it was $65 US for both. So my phone internet, my phone plan, when I leave the country and I go to Canada, I still am it's a North America roaming plan. So I don't get charged more. I can use my Guatemala plan when I'm in Canada, visiting family for free. I mean, because it's just a flat rate fee. So that's what the internet and restaurants. I go out once a week. I go out for lunch with a friend, and once a month I go out for dinner with a group of girls. And every Tuesday when my cleaning lady comes, I go have breakfast somewhere so I don't disturb her. So I'm going to say restaurants, and so that's all. That's the only time I ever go out to eat because I prefer to cook at home, honestly. So restaurants is maybe 65 US a month for those meals. So, and I also have a scooter, and my scooter costs me, I fill it maybe twice a month, and it costs $7 a month for gas for my scooter.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and I drive it because I'm lazy. So I drive my scooter almost every day. So yeah, I probably spend more on dog food because I feed the street dogs. I volunteer with three of the animal organizations here, and I help out a lot with a lot of the street dogs. So I probably spend more on dog food than I do on anything else, to be perfectly honest. But those are my expenses. It's really like I keep them low. I think most of my expenses are probably business expenses, and that's, website and, all those hosting tools and all stuff like that. So
Oh yeah, cool.
yeah,
And so I want to ask you about your YouTube channel so that our guests or our, vagabonders can go over there and listen and learn more from you. But I want to ask you a couple more questions first. So do you feel safe there in Guatemala?
100%. All the time, all the time. And I always laugh about this and I always tell people the only two things I'm afraid of is getting bit by a scorpion or stung by a scorpion because I've had that happen and it hurts like hell. That's one of the things that scares me is getting stung again and sometimes I'm afraid of the packs of street dogs because sometimes they form packs, not very often, but every now and again there will be a pack and depending on where you are and what time of day you're out. During the day, they don't really bother you. Early mornings, late evenings, it's kind of risky. So those are the only two things I'm afraid of here. It is super safe here. Nobody wants to hurt you. Like nobody's gonna break in. Like no, like nobody's gonna break into your house. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
How does your life feel different now versus when you were in Canada?
Wow. So, like North America's way of life is, everybody's wearing a watch, go, go, go. You have appointments. Traffic is crazy. Rush, rush, rush. It's and it's super, super expensive. There's no way I could afford to live in Canada today with the income that I make. I mean, I can live very comfortably here. I would be starving in Canada. I couldn't afford to. I mean, when I left Canada, my little one-bedroom apartment that I was renting was almost $1,200 a month, and my electricity bill was $200 to $300 a month. So I mean, I was over $1,500 a month just in rent. I paid $375 here. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even afford to live there if I wanted to. So, it's very fast paced. It's, you go to work, you go home, you watch TV, you go to bed. You get up, rinse, repeat, like that's all you do day in and day out. Here, I'm not chained to my job. So now I've created my own. Like when I started 10 years ago, I had a boss. I was working for people. Now I work for myself. So I set my own hours now. Like my life is very flexible because I run my own website and I run my own YouTube channel. So I set the hours. So the mornings I get up whenever I want. There's no alarm clock. Well, I have two cats. Those are my alarm clocks. I go to the market in the morning, I go for a walk, I go to the lake, I go to the market, I do all my stuff in the morning. It's very chill. I go home, I'll make breakfast or lunch or whatever, and then I'll just sit down and get to work. And it's just so, and I can stop working anytime I want and just go and, if somebody says, hey, you want to go? Okay, I'll meet you right now. Like it's just a really relaxed. So I just have a visitor's visa, tourist visa. So it's only good for 90 days. So every 90 days, we do border runs, and it's literally just to Mexico. We do border runs as long as you're out for, I think it's 48, 72 hours. We've never had a problem with that.
So Eva, tell us about your YouTube channel and your webpage. Where do people find you and what do you like to talk about?
My website is Women Blazing Trails, and I started the website initially for women over 50 who want to start over in life, who are, maybe they just left their relationship, or maybe they're newly widowed or divorced, or maybe they've always been single and they just know that they want to do something. They're at that 50-year mark, or like, something feels off and this life sucks. So I started the website to help women over 50 to just step into their own skin, feel confident, make changes, quit your job, leave, move abroad, that kind of thing, right? To show them that you can do it. This is what I've done. Left an abusive relationship. Like I left an abusive relationship, declared bankruptcy, closed up a salon. I mean, I had hit rock bottom when I made the decision that it was time to change my life. And a lot of people are there. They're stuck and frustrated and broke or whatever. And I just try to give them the confidence to say, hey, you know what? you can make changes, and life doesn't have to be this shitty. Like you can change it. Like you have the power in you to change it. So that was the website. And the YouTube channel came Real Life Over 60 because now I'm over 60 and I'm talking a lot more about the issues of being over 60 because we have a lot of, like, it's a whole different ballgame over 60. Like we have all different issues. So I do still talk about travel. And I do have a travel playlist on my channel. It's all Guatemala. And I talk about the price, healthcare, because I've used healthcare. I talk about everything Guatemala, um, fruits, food, everything. So I do have a Guatemala travel playlist. But now I mostly talk about just some of the challenges that people over 60 deal with. And I also share a lot about my life here in Guatemala.
So tell us the URL again for and name for your webpage and again for your YouTube channel.
So my website is Women Blazing Trails, and my YouTube channel is Real Life Over 60.
Well, Eva, thanks so much for coming on the channel and sharing your life. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me do this. Thanks. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay, this video is how I make money traveling the world, and this video is other expats that have retired overseas.